Hello, travelers. Oh boy, no, it's been a while, and it's because I have to learn how to channel this uh, angst, anger. I get very upset with um, people's not reacting to the situation as it is. Voting rights and all that stuff. That to me is uh, a little bit much, you know, for us for us to be dealing with at this point in time. You know, if anything, it should have been done back in the it was you know we went through all this as a country as a you know and we should be moving forward. Um, we're not going back to a king and all that mess. That's what this seems to be about. Power. Uh, it's they don't even care about the economics, and they're not running on anything. Though these uh, usurpers, I mean, this is it's crazy. This is government doing this, you know, and I always felt government was uh, somebody's pawns, and it's starting to look more and more like that. You know that uh, um, they're doing somebody else's bidding. They're definitely not doing our bidding. They're not handling their uh, fiscal responsibilities with us. And for decades, it's been for decades. Um, you know, every voting cycle. Just think. Just pay attention. To what's going on around you instead of the people around you. Because everybody has their own agenda. Everybody has their own uh, or should have their own agenda. That's the problem. Is people that don't have their own agenda are easily given somebody else's, and that's what's going on. They're out there doing this for other people, doing what they're doing for other people. A lot of these people don't even realize why they're doing this stuff, and it's not. Uh, I'm not mad at them because uh, it's a shame. They're being deceived. They've been deceived for decades and decades. It's just worked into you know their understanding, and that's when I speak to everybody, but you know if they'll hear and really listen, because this includes them too. This is, they're being mistreated in their private lives or whatever, just like everybody else. And but the nature of politics today is that everything is political, and it's not. That's what they're using, even, politics itself as a weapon. They're politicizing vaccines. They're politicizing equal rights. That's not political. It shouldn't be, but they make everything political. They make a fight out of everything. You know, and there shouldn't be no fight when it comes to, the things that people have, that God gave us, everybody, not just uh, uh, these people who want to stay in power. Or see, people don't understand. It's the land. It's that's the power that holds everybody at bay, is the land, and your uh 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 not having access to it. Any land that you have access to, you're paying for. You know, you own a house, and the property on it, you could use that to grow you some vegetables and whatever. you know you got big enough land, you could raise a couple of animals and stuff like that, chickens and stuff. But that's when you have access to the land. But we've been uh uh that was the or is the reason for all of this. All, Columbus and all them. That was about land. That was about taking land, that didn't belong to them, but taking land and resources, and it's still going on, and we're being robbed. It's just look at the policies. It's set up to just keep at every turn we're being, it's like, penalized for existence, but it's just robbery. There's no other way to say it, because it's, you know you have government agencies making new markets for uh, 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 private industry or private, uh, and we pay, we pay, and it's just because of the way it's set up. They set it up, that this income tax, and well, that's the first, and then you know people are getting rate hikes and stuff like this here all over the place. Like, I'm a senior, right? I just got a we just got to raise cost of living that was, kind of decent, for what they generally do. And uh, but we got that little raise because that's is a little compared to everything else going up. Public service went, the utilities they went up. Everybody's going up. The go, food is going up and all this. So what was that little, you know, that little cost of living? And cost of living seriously had cost of living kept up. I mean, Social Security, the cost of living was since they started Social Security. If the payments kept up with the cost of living, we'd be you'd have a living uh, income. You'd have an income you could live on that you wouldn't be struggling. People struggling, having to make choices between medication and food or their rent or I mean, you know what I'm saying? If it had gone with the cost of living had gone our raises went along with the cost of living, we would be living halfway decent. But everybody is being uh, taken advantage of at every point. At all these late charges and with the credit, that's you know another issue. These people are using our emotions and our wants and they monitor your uh, what you buy and stuff like that and they profile. People are being profiled. You watch NCIS and all them. They profiling you. You know what I mean? And figuring out how to push you to go this way and how to push you to go that way and all this here stuff. And if you just pay attention to what you know to be the truth, and that's what we've gotten away from is the truth. And it's a shame that but God is, he's still right here. He's still right here. But it's what we were taught. That truth is timeless. That's it's not about, well, times change. No, yeah, maybe people change. You know what I'm saying? People, the way people think and feel, and you know, we've gotten away from um, that truth, and everybody's kind of going their own way or leaning toward these people or leaning toward these people, and uh, my bottom line is right and wrong. It ain't Democrat or Republican. It ain't left or right. It's right and wrong. And we all know right and wrong. That's where we should be. We all know what's right and what's wrong. And that's where we should be. We should be working that right and wrong. You know, to who I mean, who takes your who deprives people of stuff? Who takes stuff that people need or deprive people of things that they need? You know what I'm saying? Seriously, think. Who does stuff like that? Who takes or deprives you? And it ain't just. I mean, okay, in a lot of minority communities, I hate that word, but and black and brown communities and poor communities, people that have the least are deprived of the most. Even in how the government doles out uh, 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 to the states and the counties and all that stuff, those zip codes are lagging, you know, way behind. I mean, everybody's suffering. I'm, uh, uh, looking at it here and where I live, teachers, coming out of their own pocket for school supplies and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? When we're paying the tax, we're paying taxes for this stuff. We're paying taxes for infrastructure. We're paying taxes for education. We're paying taxes for health, health care. You know what I'm saying? In some form or another, there's supposed to be some kind of government interaction with the healthcare system and stuff like that. That's what the taxes is for, I guess, to work out prices and stuff like that. And whatever. I'm not an economist, but I understand. See, and there is a way to get out from under all this mess, all the corruption and stuff. You know, and it's so simple. Nothing changes. Society don't change. Uh, uh, as far as how we do things, how we do, you know, how we live. The only thing is, everybody's condition is uplifted. You know, immediately, because the action that takes place, and it's simple: remove the tax from labor, the income tax, and apply that tax to the value of the land. And the revenue from that is put in a fund for the common good, or however, like that, but that's where it should be, in a fund for the common good that covers the running of government, healthcare, education, infrastructure, and the military. That's uh, for the common good. Everything funded. And I checked the value of the land, value of land in the 48 states as of, I think, 2008 or 2009. That was the last uh, recording I saw. And that was 23 trillion. $23 trillion, the value of the land in the 48 states. Now, I put a 15% tax. We pay more than 15% tax, but I don't know why 15% came up, but that's what I applied to that uh, 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 20, 23 trillion. And that came to 300, no, 3 trillion 450 billion. into the fund for the common good. Now, that was with a low ball 15%. So if we bring that tax up to what we pay, I think that would be a little bit, or, you know, substantially a little bit more. and uh and that's every year. That amount going into the fund for the common good. And the thing about that is that's where it'll stay until it's, well, it's used for as it's used for education, as it's used for, you know, infrastructure, as it's used for healthcare, uh, all the nuances in between the retirement and all that stuff, like Social Security type pensions and stuff, like all that stuff will be covered without adding a dime to the debt. In fact, the debt would be there would be paying the debt down. Or I know this will blow your mind if when this is implemented, when it comes to where that's where all our revenue comes from, okay? Because it's not going to be just snap your fingers and, you transfer this over to here and everything's going to be hunky dory. It's going to take a minute, you know. But to do that, and once it's implemented, from that date, the debt, all debt, the debt is is forgiven. All them trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars that people owe back and forth and all like that. Just start over. Start from here, doing it right. No income tax. You don't uh, 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 you're bringing home what you make. That's what I'm saying. Is as soon as you do this, people are bringing home what they make, right? I think in a lot of cases, that's a substantial. In most cases, I mean, even with the poor, bringing home what you make, a lot of what's keeping you poor is those taxes. So bringing in the beginning, and the help, until everything is kind of caught up, because I believe incomes are going to be raised, just like the taxes off labor. It's off. It's the same tax that's on manufacturing, and to remove that tax, you allow those manufacturers to produce without having. They keep more of their bottom line, and producing more where they're going to need to anyway, because once people are bringing home what they make, they're going to be reaching, able to reach things that they couldn't before. So there's going to be a demand on the market across all the markets, across everything, clothes, cars, whatever. People are going to be buying stuff. So that's jobs, because to produce more, you need more employees. So that's jobs, and then the infrastructure is covered in the fund for the common good. So those infrastructure jobs will always be there. Always, always. It's all that's how it works. And if you notice, there's no tax break for the rich and stuff like that. That money is in the fund for the common good. There's no reason for the rich to be taking our money like they are now. Because where else is it going? If voting cycle, every voting cycle, the talking points are infrastructure, healthcare, education. I mean, we've been paying those taxes, but these things aren't getting done because every voting cycle. Where's the money going? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. We got to get out from under this. This is what's preventing us. It's preventing us as a people. You know, this great experiment is beautiful. You know, it works every day. I mean, it works. It's been working. It's a little rough, bumpy, and stuff. Uh, 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 you have some people in power, like I'm saying, that are uh, they make these laws that deprive. Some of the laws deprive certain people. Some of the laws deprive everybody, but they're depriving people. They're that excess in specific peoples. We'll be getting at that, but the thing is, what's going on with everybody? What is just regular, what they, I guess, consider normal body function. No, 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 no. It's too long, man. We've done this too long, and it's while we have the power, while the people always have had the power to change things, but this is the insidious nature of this system. They work to keep us divided. That's the only thing that they fear, is us coming together. That's the only thing they fear, is the people coming together and overturning this system. It don't have to be violent. You know what I'm saying? It's because it's common sense. It's straight up common sense. We don't have to, uh, adhere to laws that, like I say, deprive us of our. Check this out, man. This is in my, it's in my book, and it's in. Uh, I speak on it, you know, uh, and it's very descriptive of the condition we as a people are in, because of the ownership of land, because of the way they control us through that ownership, the land. Now, just consider the in a more rude time, uh, back when a little while after hunter gathering, when people were planting, growing crops and raising uh, uh, livestock and stuff. If there's a fire or a drought that made them have to move on or something, of that nature, they were close enough to the land. They understood the land, and they were making their own house. They were making their own clothes. Right? What would happen now, given those circumstances, if there wasn't shelters and uh, help like that? That's what I'm talking about. When you're dependent upon somebody else for your needs, when you can't provide for yourself. Out here where I'm at, it's closer to that, uh, where people have some acres or, just have a big property, where you got the room to do this or to do that. You could work out a dream. Yeah, yes, build something and invent something, because you got room, elbow room. You could imagine and stuff. When you're locked in and stuff like that, it gets hard, or you don't see. Uh, there's people in cities that never saw a horse up close, or a cow or whatever. It scared the mess out of me. I'm gonna tell you that. Coming out here and I saw I think it was an Angus bull. That thing looked like a pit bull, about 2,000 pound pit bull. That's what it looked like, with horns, with horns. 2,000 pound pit bull. The only thing it don't do is bite. I guess I don't know. I never had no run in with him, and I was in a Jeep Cherokee or something like that, and I was going down the road. It wasn't no fence. Was and uh, I was passing these. I guess they had the bulls out, the young ones and stuff like that. They were out there grazing, and the big one, he's standing like on the edge of the road there, and he looked in my face like, "Keep going, just keep going." And I was like, "Yes, sir." I got down off of that hill, boy. Nah, they're big animals. But that's what I'm saying. We don't have that. We can't. Uh, a lot of people would die from exposure and stuff like that, not being able to build a proper shelter and uh, starve, not know or poison themselves or you know trying to eat. It's not good when uh, you have to depend on somebody. I mean, that's how it is right now, and because you depend on them, what they're giving you, they're making money. So they're making those fruits and vegetables look pretty and stuff like that. But it's they're not fresh. I'll put it to you like that. Fresh is today, because as soon as you remove that fruit or vegetable from the plant, from the tree, or it starts losing nutrients. As soon as you pull it off, it starts losing. So, but the ag process, with the governmental process, it might be 2 weeks that that pretty stuff that's on the in the bins, might be 2 weeks old because of pesticides and stuff. And then thinking about that, what are they doing? They're killing the enzymes that would make the fruit or vegetable rot. To for shelf life, so it's pretty longer, more chance of somebody buying it. But those enzymes that they kill are part of the digestive process. That's what we need to digest that food. Oh boy, these people, you know, it's crazy. I guess that's what we live with, right? Some of what we live with is these people selling you stuff and trying to scam you. This is a potential spam or whatever. I don't know what that is, but I don't. I try not to pay it any attention. I'm sorry that you guys had to hear it, but this is it's insidious. It's all set up, like I'm saying, to take as much as they can from us, our money and resources. Well, the money for our resources, the educate money for education, that we pay, tax money that we pay for education and infrastructure and all that stuff, and we're still fighting about it. So, I mean, people need to pay attention and stop getting caught up in these tangents that hate and all that. Man, that's a game. They got you playing this game that is not going to get you anywhere. I hate to say it, but it's not. It's not going to get you anywhere. It's it's uh that's a tool that they use to keep us divided. You're a tool. That's what they're doing. you know, I ain't mad at you because I know what's going on. I know it's or has been going on. They spend billions of dollars a year probably to manipulate us. Like I said, they do this profiling thing and a lot of subliminal stuff where they put a couple of frames or something in a movie or commercial or something. They get you up and do. A lot of people just do what they want you to do, and it's because you're not paying attention. You got to pay attention. I mean, with that common sense, you know, don't just pay attention because that's they want you to pay attention, but 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 not with the common sense that you should be using when you're doing things, and that comes with the uh, you know uh, 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 it comes with the word. It comes with what we were raised with, what we were uh, taught about God, and that you know that's tested. That's been tested and tested and tested and tested, and I don't hear no failure. I don't hear where God failed anybody. You know, it's a lot of our own thinking too. It's just the way we want to keep uh, control of our destiny or whatever, and that's all good. But just keep if if you can keep it in accordance with how He would want you to do things, and that's it. Treat people right. Like a lot of people's destiny, you're dealing with other people. You don't want to be using people to climb on and stuff. In fact, you should be helping people, you know, other people to do better too on the way. Ain't nothing wrong with reaching out and grab somebody. Come on, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's how it's supposed to be. There's a way we're supposed to be living, and we seem to have forgotten, or we allow other people to steer us in the direction they want us to go, and you know now you're off track. Now you're doing somebody else's agenda, that's never good. Your energy, just like our resources and our uh, labor, our labor should not enrich somebody else. And that's saying something. You got to hear that. Our labor shouldn't enrich somebody else. Now, that just brought slavery to mind for me. It seriously, our, our labor enriching somebody else. But in that case, we're all slaves because that's what's going on. That's what's going on. They've made things so everything we do enriches them. They made a system that For you to get a pair of shoes, it takes maybe the work of 500 people or a couple of hundred people. Say, I ain't gonna say 500, but because in that factory, unless you buying custom made shoes, and even with that, you know, it's not a whole custom. They just might change the color for you or something like that. But to have some actual handmade shoes, there's not too many people still doing that. But to make a pair of shoes, there's an assembly line, and I don't know how many people doing different jobs in that assembly line, but that's what they do every day in, day out, week in, week out, is that part of that shoe. I don't know how many people in that line, but I bet you what, can none of them make a shoe. I'm telling you, man, it's we're all dependent upon each other in ways we don't even understand. You, in the manufacturing process, everything that you get, everything that you purchase or whatever, you I don't know if you realize how many people, even the truck driver that's delivering it to the store and all that. There's all kinds of people involved in getting that stuff available to you. So we are inter it's a symbiotic. We all need each other. We all need each other. And these insidious I don't know what to call them, but it's not government. Government works for them because they make laws and policies to channel our money and resources to them. So this is why I'm saying we need to come together as a people. Put down the prejudice and all that stuff. You wanna get back into it later. You're welcome, but for right now, we need to come together and have this democracy that we can all live and continue doing what we've been doing. We are moving. I'm not denying that we're moving forward, and nobody can really deny that the country is still moving forward, technologically and all that stuff. But this uh, the moral and ethical and compass is busted up. It's it's not working. We're going off in all these misguided directions, and we need to come back together. I think under that one truth, and you know, I'm not saying um, I'm not denying either, but I'm not saying that you have to be a Bible thumper, or it's not, all I'm looking at is the way we're supposed to be treating each other. What's right and wrong. That's the bottom line. Like I started out, is what's right and wrong. And if we can get with that, and everybody should be able to get with that because everybody knows right and wrong, and we can win that way. We, the people, we can win that way because there's no, if as long as we're all together, there's nobody that they can point at that's of dissent. You know what I'm saying? That, we should all be together. We know what's right and wrong. There's no question about that. We can't be making up our own truth. You can have your own opinion, but the truth is the truth, and you can't just make up a truth. And we know what is true. We all know what's true. If we've been good parents and pastors and teachers, we all know what's right and wrong. And friends, because a good friend will tell you you're wrong. But we can do this, man. We there's a way to do it. I just finished explaining, and I'll continue in more posts, as I continue. But yeah, this is what we need to be doing. We need to get back to ourselves as a people. We need to get about the collective, you know, one for all and all for one. That's how it works. When we all looking out for each other, society works as an immune system. Anything that ain't right, we attack it and envelop it and get it to the proper authority to get it out. That's how a proper society would work. It's all about love, man, and that's real. Love your neighbor as yourself, and not for nothing, we've become I mean, we dislike people just because they're from over there, or skin color. That you can't forget that. But there's you know all these reasons we find to hate, when it's so much easier to just do right by people, and people will do right by you. What goes around comes around, man. This is real stuff, but this is also a real solution. It's real. It's viable. It's sustainable. That's the I'm not even an economist, but I could see the sustainability of it. I can see where it's going to get better under. I mean, over uh, the more we the more we do to help this situation, the better it's going to get. The more we do to hinder and what's going on, the worse it's going to get. And I can't see it getting too much worse before there's really some nasty stuff goes on. And it's not necessary. Really, it's not necessary. There's a way we can move forward, like I just finished saying. There's a way we can move forward peacefully equitably, sustainably, and I think just everybody break and being able to attain some of the things that you were just out of reach. I think that'll help lower the when people start seeing a way out of this mess we're in. Just the economic mess. The ground is what's real. You know, we know what we're going through, and we know what we each other is going through. We struggle up and down your block. You know who's struggling and stuff. Maybe it'd be a good start to start reaching out towards some of them and in their struggle. And you never know. You never know, man. But a good deed or just, helping somebody is good for you. It's good for you. It's good for the spirit. I love you guys, all of you. Even you guys that don't like me so much. That's real. Come on, man. We could do this. All right. I got to go. I don't want to get, because I could keep talking. So, but I got some things I got to do. You guys have a good one. Be safe out there in the wilderness, man. You know, uh, I don't like to, because, King said it, but, you know, well, it is a little different because at this point, I'm standing on the mountaintop and I'm looking at the promised land. I'm looking at it and I'm trying to tell you about it. We never got there. So